Look, we have to start with what we dubbed last week the game of the year, because as Josh Allen on that 4th and 2 crashed his way into the end zone, doing what no other team could do to the Kansas City Chiefs and finally defeating them this season, everyone's attention immediately turns to January. Everyone's attention immediately turns to, great, the Buffalo Bills are now 4-1 over the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season, but 0-3 when it matters in January. And it's clear that it wasn't just the fans thinking this way. As those two franchise-changing quarterbacks came together in the middle, they were already looking forward to the playoffs.
Defeated champion again this year. McDermott beats the mentor. He beats Andy Reid, a huge figure in his life.
There you have it. Patrick Mahomes already knows that they're going to see this Bills team in January. He's already thinking about his revenge. Buffalo on top on Sunday night. But can they finally beat the Chiefs when it matters? Did you see enough difference in this Bills team to say to you, yes, this can be the year that they topple Kansas City?
If this game had been played at Arrowhead, I would be able to say with 100% confidence, yeah, they can do this. That, to me, will be the difference. But this is what makes this fun. The NFL really needed this. We were on this program last week, Will, and I said, I don't normally sit up here and say, I want so-and-so to win because, you know, I'm not a Bills fan or a Chiefs fan. I'm a journalist. I wanted the Bills to win that game because the NFL needed this. The Chiefs were not good enough to go undefeated. I've been saying that for weeks, 100% right on that one. We needed to see Detroit. We needed to see Kansas City, Buffalo. There's 4 or 5 teams this year that are Super Bowl contenders. The Ravens are falling off. Nobody has run away with it. And so now all of a sudden you go into Thanksgiving, you go into the holiday season, and you have Buffalo, you have Kansas City, you have Detroit, you have 3 or 4 true Super Bowl contenders, and Buffalo right now is the hottest team in the NFL along with the Detroit Lions, so we'll get to later in the show. I love what I'm seeing from the Bills. I'm seeing Josh Allen, who is the MVP right now as we speak. Sean McDermott has been coaching a hell of a team this year. The defense is good. The offense is good. This is a better Buffalo team without Stephon Diggs, which I love that storyline. Yeah, the Bills right now, to me, are better than the Kansas City Chiefs, but can they do it, Will, in Arrowhead? Because right now, Kansas City would have home field advantage, and it feels like we're set up for an AFC championship. The Bills and the Chiefs rematch, but it'll be in Kansas City, and that's a difference maker.
You're absolutely bang on. There is so much to love about this Bills performance and so much to break down and discuss about it. But I'm delighted that you cited Sean McDermott because I think you have a rash and an issue of top-tier head coaches in this league who very clearly are incredibly good at their jobs, incredibly good at building a roster, at building them up, at designing plays, but are oddly conservative. Like, guys, Sean McVay, people think because he's an offensive genius, he's not conservative. He's super conservative. Doesn't like going from 4th down, doesn't like listening to the analytics. Kyle Shanahan, another one, super conservative. Yeah. Sean McDermott appears to have finally had that light bulb go off in his head that when you're facing the Kansas City Chiefs,
you have to go for it.
You have to go for it.
You cannot be Todd Bowles. You have to go for the throat. Josh Allen will go for the throat. Sean McDermott, it felt like in some way, was holding this team back in previous season. It wasn't all his fault. He is a good NFL coach, but you're going against one of the best of all time. You're going against Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes. You have to go for the throat. And I've covered teams that failed to do that or did it the wrong way, and they ended up paying the price. You have to get it all right when you play the Chiefs. And Buffalo really showed something in that game. They got to do it in January. If you're going to make the Super Bowl, if you're Buffalo, you have to win the Super Bowl. You can't have another Super Bowl loss. But this, I love everything that I've seen about this team thus far. And again, we mentioned these teams before that they have playoff failure, they have letdowns, they have heartbreak, they have frustration, whatever it is. But it feels like Buffalo and Josh Allen specifically, that they've learned from that, they've grown from that, and maybe this is the year for the Buffalo Bills.
A rare thing between these two teams, actually, a game that was won by more than one score. Yeah. And actually, I think 9 points was flattering to Kansas City. Genuinely, Buffalo dominated them for the better part. And actually, it was some fourth quarter wobbles which saw Kansas City able to get back into this game. And yet, when given that 4th and 2, when they could take the points, a chip shot field goal, having already gone for a 4th down in similar distance in the first half and failed to get it, that's normally the sort of thing that for a coach like Sean McDermott would scare him, and then he'd go, right, no, points this time. Got to take the points this time. Instead, they put the ball in Josh Allen's hands, they run that mesh route, he sees it open up in front of him, and he does something that the very special ones do, which is not only does he go and get that 1st down, but he bowling balls off 2 more Chiefs defenders. This much vaunted Chiefs defense rumbles his way into the end zone, carries this team on his back. Cheers of MVP ringing out around Highmark. I just thought that side of it was absolutely sensational.
But I want to get into something. How come Patrick Mahomes is not getting criticized right now? He like nobody in the NFL gets more of a pass. And granted, he has been incredible. He's been Showtime Mahomes. He is a back-to-back Super Bowl champ. He's the next Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, and we asked this on talkSPORT End Zone about a month ago, what is wrong with Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes has almost as many interceptions as he does touchdowns right now. Josh Allen, by far, was the better QB in that game. Josh Allen is the MVP right now. Patrick Mahomes isn't even getting a vote. He's not holding the Chiefs back, but Will, for all the injuries, for all the issues, you have DeAndre Hopkins back for a few weeks now. You still have Kelsey. You still have a good offense. What is up with Patrick Mahomes, and when is he going to fix this?
It was so apparent to me in this game as well that Mahomes was a problem. I think it was Xavier Worthy's best game since week 1. You still had Travis Kelsey out there making plays. The run game managing, Kareem Hunt somehow managing to roll back the years a little bit as well. We know that the weapons have been an issue, but what kind of astounded me was the Bills were able to bring really high levels of pressure. On over a third of dropbacks, they were getting to Mahomes, despite the fact that they only ever really rush 4. They haven't got the sexiest line. Greg Rousseau's very special, but the rest of the guys, like A.J. Epinesa, these are good players, not top-tier players. And Mahomes, time and time again, was making poor decisions in the pocket, which led to him taking sacks, which led to him not getting the ball out quick enough, which he wasn't seeing open guys at times when you were seeing it on the All-22. And I do think that a combination of how bad that offensive line is, combined with the missing weapons this year, seems to have Mahomes a little bit spooked. And no longer are we getting that great grip it and rip it Mahomes, where he can just take it out and find his guy and get it out quickly. But what we've always had with him in the past is, OK, he doesn't do that, but he's under pressure and he's going to take 12 seconds and run all around the field and then make a completion downfield to Travis Kelsey. That's not there either. And so plan A and plan B aren't there. This offense desperately needs a plan C if the defense aren't going to bail them out.
The Chiefs, they feel vulnerable. And I've been saying, like, I'm not a Chiefs hater. I've come in this program before and say I have no problem with the Chiefs. The fact that they kept finding a way to win was a testament to them and their experience and their talent and the coaching and the leadership and the chemistry and all those big buzzy keywords. But this is a team that could easily be 4-6 this year. That could be below 500. That could be struggling to win their division. And I think that we saw a reminder of that in Buffalo because usually it's a better quarterback that wins a game, especially in the playoffs. Josh Allen was a better quarterback. What's going to happen in January? If Josh Allen is the MVP of the NFL, Josh Allen's playing in Arrowhead, and Patrick Mahomes is still struggling with this offense, as much as we can say it's injuries, Patrick Mahomes should be able to figure this out. And I just have not seen the same Patrick Mahomes this year. And he's always been the bailout, Will. He's always been the player who, no matter what is happening, he will eventually have that drive. That didn't happen against Buffalo. I thought the first series was very, very telling. He throws a ball up that was going to be intercepted. He forces a throw. He cannot do that, but he doesn't get the criticism, I guess, because he's done it before. If that was Lamar Jackson, you would have been hearing all week that Patrick Mahomes was holding back the Chiefs.
So here's why he gets away with it, I think. Because every other week he's been bailed out.
Because he's a back-to-back Super Bowl champion.
Because he's really, really good at football.
Yeah.
No, like back-to-back Super Bowl champion and all those wonderful things we say about him. And he is the best quarterback I've ever watched.
100%. 100%.
I understand why Brady is currently the GOAT, and there's so many other people you could put in that conversation.
No one more talented at quarterback in NFL history who won Super Bowls than Patrick Mahomes. I fully agree.
For me, every other week he was bailed out. This week, for the first time and this was astonishing, for the first time in 44 games, that defense gave up over 30 points.
That's a good stat.
That's a long time to not give up 30 points in a game. So if that defense starts to falter a little bit, and they did, whenever the Bills were going to the other side of the field from Trent McDuffie, who was an all-pro corner, every other time they went to the other side of the field, it was 9-yard gains, 15-yard gains. They completed on 3rd and long on 6 separate occasions, 2 of those being penalties. And you're just like, that's not something a top-tier defense should be giving up. Then special teams bails him out against the Broncos, so he avoids that criticism. This week, he's bailed out by the fact they were facing the Buffalo Bills, who people acknowledge are the second-best team, maybe the best team in the AFC. The thing for me is you keep saying, what if Josh Allen has to do it in Arrowhead? They're now only a game back on the Chiefs, and they have the head-to-head over the Chiefs. Very tough running for them. They've got to face San Francisco after their bye. to Los Angeles, who have been improving, and they've got to go to the Lions.
And that Lions-Bills game, that now feels like the Super Bowl preview. That is a heck of a football game.
So their next 3 games are very tough. If they come out of those games 3-0,
or 2-1, because here's the thing, I think the Chiefs are going to drop a few more games.
Do you think they're going to drop 2 more games? I've got them dropping 1 more. I really struggle to see them dropping 2 more.
I will not be surprised, because the other part will be, what if are the Chiefs going to have to go to the end of the regular season to win, to secure home field? They haven't faced that in a while, right? But before, the Chiefs would be able to lock it down. Mahomes can rest the last game. That might not be the case this year. This is an NFL season that could go down to the final. Even, we can talk about the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions haven't locked up their division yet, and they still have a really tough schedule. That's why the Bills winning was so big for this season. If you're an NFL fan, it's all still on the table, and we can talk about the Lions and the Bills. We don't know where this is going to go, and that's when it's the most fun.
Number 1 seed, I'm just saying, is still very much in play. And if Buffalo take it, then it gets really spicy, because if they've got to go on the road to Buffalo in the playoffs, I know they did it before, and I know they won there before, but just feels like Buffalo have a little bit extra juice.
The Bills are about 40 or 50 years due.
And they've still got Matt Milano, their best linebacker, to come back. They still didn't have Keon Coleman. They still didn't have Dalton Kincaid. Like 3 of their best players all to come back into this team. If they stay healthy, I'm really liking the Bills to be in New Orleans in February.